Plaid Cymru in Wales.
Hello, good afternoon, friends, comrades, Edinburgh. Diolch yn fawr, Chapelet. It's lovely to be back here in Edinburgh, in fact. The last time I was here was a little over 5 years ago. And those 5 years ago, I was out canvassing the streets, getting the voters out in the tenements of Edinburgh to vote yes in your referendum. And that was one of the best days of my life. That day will stay with me forever, because that was the only time I have felt real freedom. For one day, you as a nation, you as a people, you were independent for one day. And even though you lost the vote on that day, wow, that put some seeds into the ground with us in Wales. It inspired us. And from then, our movement in Wales for independence has grown thanks to you here in Scotland. Because for far too long, our communities in Scotland, in Wales, we've been treated like quarries. We've been exploited relentlessly, hollowed out and ripped of all our wealth until there's nothing more for us to give. And then we've been abandoned and forgotten when they in London have deemed us to be uneconomical. Yes, our communities, our people, they've been abandoned by London. But our communities, you, us in Wales, we're fighting back. We're organising. We're working together, and we're gathering strength. Decades ago, it was only muffled voices talking about independence. Those muffled voices turned into conversations, and those individual conversations became a cry for freedom, a cry for independence. Having extracted everything they can from our nations, London now claims that we in Wales, that in Scotland, we're too small, we're too poor to succeed as independent nations. It's an age-old myth that's been deliberately perpetuated for far too long, but it's got no basis in fact. Because neither Scotland nor Wales are too small or too poor. Yes, we have an abundance of resources, true, but we have the most valuable resource of all. No, not water, no, not oil, no, not whiskey even. People, you, the people of Scotland, the people of Wales, the single most valuable resource that any nation can have. The people of our nations, our brothers and sisters who've been locked in a cycle of never-ending poverty from one generation to the next. We've been denied the opportunity to help build a better society and a fairer world because we live under a plutocracy, in a state that forces inequality and centralises wealth in the hands of a few. Independence will set the people of Scotland and Wales free from the never-ending cycle of despair and hopelessness that is London rule. In Wales, a third of our children live in poverty. Our young people are moving away from our communities because of a lack of opportunities. And have you seen the mess in London? Is that as good as it gets? Can we do better than that? Of course we can. Now, independence isn't the end goal. It's not an ideological crusade for its own sake. But independence will be the catalyst that will drive Scotland and Wales forward. It'll give us the tools and the ability to build a fairer society, to build nations, new nations, on foundations of ancient and proud nations. Finally, from the Welsh perspective, the opinion polls tell us that now, thanks to you here in Scotland and your movement for independence, we are now starting to realise that we can also develop our own movement and become independent. Thanks to your lead, now up to 40% of the people of Wales believe that we too can be independent. You have inspired us. You've also inspired other stateless nations across the world, and thank you for that. We're with you, Scotland. We're with you from Wales, from Catalonia, from Brittany and other small stateless nations, marching lockstep towards independence, shoulder to shoulder. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Gwynfor. Mabon Gwynfor. Oh, I don't know how to say that name. Could Ian King please come to the backstage? Ian King, that was the person I couldn't remember his name. Well, that's it. Ian King, if you're out there, please come backstage. And I just want to say thanks to everybody, thanks to all the artists and all that. And we're going to keep doing this. We've got about another 9 gigs lined up next year. Starting in April, we've got 9 independence rallies. So I'll see you all there, okay? Bye!